Breaking news coming in now and moving over to the Indian capital. And the Supreme Court has refused permission to cut 473 trees in the ecologically sensible Aravalli Hill region. The hearing came after a petition from the Delhi Development Authority which sought clearance for the tree felling. The court stressed that no action should be taken in haste. Chief Justice Surya Kant said tree cutting cannot begin until full compliance with earlier orders is ensured. The bench also asked for a detailed report on nearly 100,016 trees mentioned in previous proceedings. While acknowledging the need to widen roads near the Army Hospital, the court made it clear that tree cutting must be reduced to zero during the project. The next hearing is scheduled for January the 19th, with the Solicitor General assuring full compliance with the court's directions. The Aravalli mountain range, stretching from Delhi through Haryana and Rajasthan to Gujarat, is one of the world's oldest mountain ranges. It acts as a vital ecological barrier against the Thar Desert, supports rivers like the Banas, and is home to rich biodiversity, including leopards, jackals, and dry deciduous forests. But the range faces growing threats from urbanization, illegal mining, and deforestation. Conservation projects like the Aravalli Green Wall aim to protect this national heritage. The Supreme Court's ruling highlights India's ongoing struggle to balance development with environmental protection. Joining us now is Anand Arya, an environmental expert and activist, joining us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much for joining us here on NewsX World. It's a pleasure to have you on the programme. Of course, a hugely significant ruling from the Supreme Court. How much is this going to benefit the region?
Well, I think just 473 trees or 116,000 trees are not really relevant. I think what the Supreme Court has said today indicates how seriously I think it is going to look at the Aravalli range from a conservation and a protection point of view. You see, these kind of things the government of India had been playing, that they rushed through some, they come up with some half-baked ideas, and then try to take, they hide half the story and tell half the story, and get certain amount of approvals. And that is why the last, practically the whole of December, we had this huge furor over the new definition of Aravallis, which was made. So I think this is the very correct judgment by the Supreme Court of India today, that we will look at it in a holistic manner, not in a part basis, that you cannot just say that let me do this and then I will come back to you for the rest. You see, because that opens the way, and under this, unfortunately, in very many parts, the DDA has had a very dubious kind of, they played a very dubious role in the sense that they will just do it and then, okay, you go to the court and let us see what happens. So I think today's ruling is very important. And also, I think this is time that the Supreme Court of India came very heavily on the government of India as far as its environment policies are concerned. Because everywhere, I mean, they, right from 2000, I think it's about 25, 30 years ago, when the first judgment was passed by the Supreme Court of India, that a development cannot be at the cost of environment. And this principle has been laid down and elaborated upon and emphasized and re-emphasized many times by the Supreme Court, that the environment cannot be destroyed just for the sake of development. These two things have to coexist, and I think now what we are seeing from the new Chief Justice is that environment will get a certain amount of priority. And I think this is the first step, and I expect that when the complete hearing takes place on both the issue of redefinition, on the new definition of the Aravalli Hills, where they have said that the hills below 100 meters are not hills, and they can be, open for mining or other development purposes. So I think that's very important. And the second important part is, of course, this 116,000 trees. I mean, this has to be a complete package, whether it is looked at it or it is, sanctioned or it is not sanctioned. And I mean, if I'm quite happy to hear from the Supreme Court that the no trees are to be, or the zero number of trees has to be cut down. And which is possible, because all that it takes you to reroute and realign the roads such that there is a minimum possible damage to the trees. Because trees are the lungs which keep the environment, which keep the air totally, they contribute to a very significant extent cleaning the air and controlling the purity in the air.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us here on News XY. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much for